The envelope trembled in my hand, though I told myself it was just the draft from the open window. Inside it, my name had been crossed out, not scribbled, but neatly, deliberately. You are not invited. No explanation. Just my son's signature beneath it. That was the moment I realized love could be erased like ink. The house was too quiet that night. The clock ticked like it was keeping count of something I'd lost. On the table, beside the unopened bills, was my husband's old ledger. The one we used to track every expense, every sacrifice we made to build a future for our boy. I opened it out of habit, but the numbers didn't match anymore. Something had been changed. Figures adjusted, initials replaced. That's when I knew this wasn't rejection. It was theft wearing love's face. Grief has a strange way of sharpening the senses. I didn't cry, I observed. The bride's name appeared beside every new transaction in my son's bank records. Joint accounts opened, assets transferred, property sold. All within 3 months of meeting her. I never asked for much after my husband's death, just that our home stay in the family, our savings remain untouched until my son found his footing. But suddenly, my name vanished from the trust. Power of attorney? Transferred. Signature? Forged. I went quiet, pretended not to notice. I called his workplace one afternoon. Just routine concern, I said. They told me he'd taken a financial leave to manage family affairs. Those were my affairs, my husband's legacy. I started documenting everything. Dates, screenshots, copies. I wasn't looking for revenge, just truth. And when I finally traced the digital trail back to her laptop, I realized what kind of bride she really was. She called me one evening, calm, polite, almost tender. "You're making this harder for him," she said. Her voice was soft, the kind people trust. But beneath it, I heard calculation. I told her I only wanted to see my son. She replied, "He needs space from your influence." That word cut deeper than any insult. I knew she was isolating him piece by piece. His calls became shorter, his tone colder. He started defending her decisions before I even questioned them. She'd rehearsed him well. I stopped sleeping. I'd wake up to the echo of my husband's voice in the hallway. Not real, just memory. He'd built everything for that boy, and now it was being rewritten in someone else's name. The documents on my desk started forming a pattern. Identical IP addresses, transfers at midnight, her signature under his login credentials. It wasn't love. It was a clean, professional theft disguised as devotion. By the time the wedding invitation arrived, hand-delivered by a courier, not by him, I wasn't a mother anymore. I was an obstacle. The wedding was at a rented estate, white roses, expensive silence. I wasn't supposed to be there, but I went anyway, uninvited, with a small envelope in my purse. As the guests took their seats, I stayed in the back, watching. My son looked nervous. Not the kind of nervous that comes with love, but the kind that comes with doubt. She kept whispering in his ear, guiding his smile. When the officiant asked for the vows, I walked forward. Not loud, not dramatic, just steady. "Before you say I do," I said, "you should both see what's already been done." I placed the envelope on the altar. Inside, copies of bank records, falsified signatures, and a digital trace of every stolen dollar, all tied to her name. The room fell silent. The officiant froze. My son's hands began to shake. She tried to speak, said it was misunderstood, temporary, for the future. But truth doesn't need volume. It just needs proof. He looked at me once, not as a child, not as a man, but as someone seeing the truth too late. I didn't shout. I didn't cry. I just handed the folder to the lawyer seated in the front row. Her lawyer. Within minutes, whispers turned into exits. Her parents stood, confused. Guests started checking their phones. The silence that followed was surgical, precise, cold, final. My son didn't follow her when she left. He didn't follow me either. He just stood there, surrounded by flowers meant to celebrate a union built on lies. A week later, the authorities called. The investigation confirmed everything: fraudulent transfers, identity manipulation, and an attempt to liquidate inherited assets before the wedding. She faced charges. He faced consequences of silence. I faced the mirror. Justice doesn't always feel like victory. Sometimes it's just exhaustion wearing Peace's face. Months passed before he came back home. He didn't say much, just sat at the same table where his father once planned their future. He asked if I hated him. I told him no. I just finally learned the difference between protecting someone and enabling their blindness. We rebuilt, quietly. No apologies, no explanations, just silence doing what time never could.